Every day, you're losing your power without even realizing it. Not because the world is too harsh, but because you allow yourself to drown in cheap pleasures. Every time you masturbate, you're trading your energy, confidence, and willpower just to satisfy a fleeting urge. This isn't just a habit, it's a cycle that keeps you weak, stagnant, and out of control. But you don't have to accept it. You can reclaim your strength, build iron discipline, and live like a real man. In this video, you'll discover how masturbation is destroying you and how to break free from it forever. If you truly want to change, watch until the end. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're new here. It helps me keep bringing you more valuable content. Do you feel exhausted, unmotivated, and stuck without knowing why? You have big goals, but something invisible keeps holding you back? Let me be blunt. Masturbation is destroying you every single day, every single hour, even if you don't realize it. A silent drain on your strength. Unlike obvious bad habits like smoking or overeating, masturbation destroys you in silence. It drains your energy, not just physically, but mentally. Have you noticed how after every session, you feel tired, unmotivated, and empty? That's not just a passing sensation, it's a sign of internal power loss. A man can have intelligence, skills, and opportunities, but if he wastes his energy on meaningless pleasures, he will always remain weak. The dopamine trap. Ever heard of dopamine? It's the brain's pleasure chemical, responsible for motivation and excitement. But here's the problem. Your brain doesn't care where dopamine comes from. It doesn't distinguish between the high of achieving a major goal and the temporary pleasure of masturbation. That means every time you reward yourself this way, you are training your brain to believe that easy pleasure is just as valuable as real success. You're tricking yourself. This is why so many men today lose their drive for greatness. They stop chasing careers, challenges, or real relationships. Why fight, struggle, or endure hardships when you can get instant satisfaction with a few clicks? That's the trap millions of men are falling into, an addiction they don't even recognize. The cycle of weakness. Every time you masturbate, you send the wrong signal to your brain that you've already won. But in reality, you've achieved nothing. You're not stronger, you're not smarter, you're not closer to your goals. You simply gave in to a short-term craving while losing control over yourself. Here's the brutal truth. If you can't control your desires, you will never control your life. You will become a slave to instant gratification, while strong men use that same energy to build empires, conquer goals, and become their best selves. Warnings from the Stoics. This isn't a new idea. Ancient Stoic philosophers understood the dangers of being a slave to pleasure. Seneca once said, "No man is truly free if he is a slave to his body." If you let your desires control you, you are no longer in charge of yourself. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that true strength doesn't come from indulgence, it comes from self-mastery. He believed that a man is only truly great when he can control his primal urges. Which path will you choose? Will you stay trapped in the cycle of weakness, or will you reclaim control and use your energy to build a life worth being proud of? The choice is yours. Do you think pleasure is a good thing? Think again. The things that bring instant gratification are often the things that destroy you the fastest. Junk food, social media, pornography. They give you quick satisfaction, but in return, they make you weaker, slower, and less in control. Masturbation is no different. It's cheap pleasure that requires no effort, and that's exactly what makes it a deadly trap. Seneca, are you truly free? The Roman philosopher Seneca once said, "No man is truly free if he is a slave to his body." You may think you're in control of your life, but if you can't even give up something as simple as masturbation, are you really free? You are ruled by your desires, manipulated by your urges, and enslaved by temporary cravings. You are not the master of yourself, you are a puppet of pleasure. A truly strong man doesn't let fleeting emotions control him. He dominates his desires instead of being dominated by them. Do you really think great warriors, emperors, and leaders wasted their energy on meaningless pleasures? Or did they channel their strength into conquering challenges and building legacies that made the world respect them? Marcus Aurelius, control your desires, control your life. Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's greatest emperors, wasn't just a warrior on the battlefield, he was a warrior over himself. He believed that a man is only truly strong when he controls his urges. He didn't see pleasure as the goal of life, he saw self-control as the highest form of power. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You see, it's not masturbation itself that makes you weak, it's your dependence on it. You are ruled by cravings. You are sabotaging yourself for short-term pleasure. You are trading your future for a few seconds of release. Historical proof. Great men mastered their desires. Look at history's greatest men. Warriors like Alexander the Great, thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci, and entrepreneurs like Elon Musk. What do they have in common? Discipline. They didn't waste their energy on useless distractions. They controlled themselves, and that gave them control over the world. Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest inventors in history, once said he gave up sex and physical pleasures to channel all his energy into creativity and innovation. He understood that sexual energy is a powerful force, but only when you control it, not when it controls you. Now ask yourself, do you want to live like a great man, controlling your urges and conquering massive goals? Or do you want to stay trapped in the pleasure cycle, wasting your energy on things that bring you nothing of real value? The choice is yours. But remember, the men who master themselves are the men who rule the world. If you've tried quitting but always relapse, if you feel like you can't control yourself, then this is the time you need a different approach. You can't just simply stop a habit that has been deeply wired into your nervous system. You have to replace it. Forget the idea that you just need to try harder or use willpower to fight urges. That is not sustainable. You need a system, a new way of living where masturbation no longer has a place. The first and most important thing, you must have a big enough reason. If you don't know why you want to quit, you will always find a reason to go back. No one can do this for you. Ask yourself, do I want to live like a weak man? If the answer is no, then start acting like a strong man right now. Discipline is the key. Don't wait for motivation because it's unreliable. Motivation comes and goes. Great men don't rely on motivation. They rely on habits. If every time you feel stressed, bored, or tired, you turn to masturbation as a way to relieve stress, then you have programmed yourself with a weak response. You need to reprogram it. Every time you feel tempted, do something else. Do push-ups, go for a run, read a book, learn a new skill. Don't let your brain follow its old patterns. Another important thing, change the way you see pleasure. You may think quitting masturbation is a sacrifice, but in reality, it is liberation. Imagine holding in your hands a massive source of energy, the energy that great men in history have used to change the world. Try keeping it for once, instead of wasting it on cheap pleasures. And finally, don't do this alone. Build a life where you are immersed in real challenges, where you have other men to train and grow with. Isolation is the reason why so many people stay trapped in this cycle. When you have a community, when you have others pushing you forward, you will no longer need meaningless things to fill the void. There are no shortcuts, but there is one simple truth. You can do this. You are stronger than you think. You just need to prove it to yourself, right now. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you truly mastered yourself? If you were no longer tempted, no longer burdened by guilt after every relapse? If, with each passing day, you felt stronger instead of drained? Quitting masturbation is not just about stopping a habit. It's a revolution within you. It changes how you see yourself, how you face the world, and how you use your energy. Imagine waking up every morning with a razor-sharp mind, an energized body, and an unshakable will. No more stagnation, no more regret, only action and progress. The first thing you'll notice is an explosion of confidence. You are no longer the weak man hiding in his room, glued to a screen, trapped in a cheap addiction. You are a man of discipline, a man who is in control of himself. And that reflects in the way you walk, talk, and face the world. People will feel it. Women will feel it. Next, you will have a level of energy you've never experienced before. Have you ever wondered why so many great men throughout history abstained from meaningless pleasures? Because they understood that when controlled, that energy transforms into creativity, endurance, and intense focus. When you stop wasting it, you'll find yourself working harder, training stronger, and thinking deeper. Your testosterone levels will rise. Your body will become more masculine, your voice deeper, your gaze sharper. Men will respect you. Women will be drawn to you. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because you have become a man of real value. But the greatest reward isn't in your appearance or attraction, it's in your freedom. When you can control yourself, nothing else can control you. You are no longer manipulated by urges, no longer caught in meaningless distractions. You become the master of your own life. Look in the mirror. Is the man staring back at you living up to his full potential, or is he wasting his power on cheap pleasures? You know the answer, and you know what needs to be done. This is the moment of truth. You've read this far, you understand how masturbation is destroying you, you've seen the path to escape it, and you know the rewards of self-mastery. But the only question that remains is, do you have the discipline to do it? Let's be blunt. Most men will do nothing. They will nod along, agree with everything I just said, and then go right back to their weak cycle. They will find excuses, justify their actions, promise themselves, I'll start tomorrow. And then they never do. But if you're still here, still listening, then maybe you're not like the majority. Maybe you're one of the few who dare to take action. You need to face a brutal truth. No one is going to save you but yourself. There is no magical solution. No one is coming to hold your hand and pull you out of this mess. You can continue deceiving yourself, or you can start doing the right thing, right now. Set a challenge for yourself. 30 days without masturbation. No excuses, no exceptions. Just 1 month, and you will see how much you change. You will feel an explosion of energy, sharp focus, and a level of confidence you've never had before. And when you look back, you will ask yourself, why did I waste my potential on something so meaningless? Great men are not controlled by desire. They master it, and they turn it into the drive to conquer the world. And you? Will you continue living as someone who is controlled? Or will you rise up and become a man worthy of his own respect? There is no success for a man who cannot control himself. If you cannot win a simple battle like quitting masturbation, how can you expect to win the bigger battles in life? Every great man understands one thing. Real strength is not in muscles, money, or status. It is in discipline. When you control your desires, you control your thoughts. When you control your thoughts, you control your actions. And when you control your actions, you control your destiny. The choice is yours. But remember one thing, the world is not going to wait for you. Thank you for watching. Support this amazing community by subscribing and turning on notifications now. Hit like and share your experience in the comments to spread positive energy today. Together, we can inspire and uplift each other on this journey.